Good morning, everybody. It's Monday morning here, and I think this is going to be a really good week. The weather is really nice out. There's birds chirping, but it's the nice kind of birds chirping, not those really loud, annoying ones. I know that it's really easy to start to feel really down and depressed when you're isolated and you're not doing much, but if I could offer one tip for trying to bring yourself up a little bit, it's make it a great day. And I don't mean that flippantly. I mean, it's on you to make it a great day. Don't rely on somebody else to improve your mood. And at the same time, don't let the actions of other people bring you down. No matter who that is, don't give anybody else that power. And if you want to make it an even greater day, send me a self-addressed stamped envelope and I'll send you one of my Woodworking for Mere Mortals stickers. I forgot I still have a whole bunch of these things. So if you want one, I've got you can see my address is in the description of this video. Just scroll all the way down and you'll see my P.O. box there. You don't need to include a note or anything. Just send me an envelope with your address on it and a stamp on it and I'll send you one of these. It'll brighten up your day. Just stick them wherever you like. Okay, I got my lag screws this morning so I can install these casters. By the way, a number of people have asked me why I'm making these drawers this way with those shelves rather than just making shelf or drawer runners. And that's exactly the way I did, say, this basic mobile workbench plus is I just installed runners on the sides that the drawers slide into. So when you do this, it's going to be a different type of construction. In this case, what I have here is the drawer made here, and then it's got this false front on it that stops when it hits these two sides. And the thing about these is you've got to make sure that these faces are all even and the space between them all matches. And that's the way I made this old cabinet for my drill press, just with some runners that slide on here. Again, drawer with the false front on it that are all lined up. Then these kind of drawers on my other shop fixtures are like the ones that I'm making for this project, and so they slide out and then there's kind of a shelf there that the drawer fits onto. I kind of like making these type of drawers because it only requires a basic box to slide in there. And then I can also make it flush, and then this kind of acts as a divider. If I wanted to do this type of drawer with runners, I would also need to make a strip to go across the front to divide the drawers up. So it's just a different choice, different way of making drawers. I'm not sure if one is any easier than the others, but I kind of like doing it this way. But on this cabinet, these drawer dividers actually serve another function, and that's to keep these two sides parallel. Remember when I was building this and this middle plywood panel was kind of bowing out and this one was bowing out. So this way I was just able to pull these together, and it just provides it with a lot more structural support, especially for something that's going to hold as much weight as that drill press. When I make drawers, I always like to make the front piece and the back piece first because I know how wide that has to be, and what that width is the same width as the opening, and then I just subtract a 1/16 of an inch or so from each side. Just make it a little bit smaller so that the drawer slides in and out easier. And also, I don't want these drawers going all the way to the back of this cabinet because that would be like that far, 20 inches. So you pull that drawer out, it would come way out to here, and a drawer that long really isn't very useful. So I'm going to shrink that down to maybe about 14 inches. And then I'll put a block in the back to stop it from going in any further. So the first thing I can do is rip all of the boards to their size, to their heights, because all four of these are going to be exactly the same, and then these two will be a little bit bigger. So I can test these out and see how they fit. Nice. So I can test out the front and back pieces this way, just to make sure that there's a little bit of play side to side so that they're not going to bind in there. So that looks like a pretty good fit. And now that I have all of the drawer pieces cut, I can cut out a rabbet on the ends of each of the front and back pieces to hold in the sides. I've set up a stack of dado blades in my router, or in my table saw. Again, you could use a router if you like. Hey, if that's your thing, use your router. What do I care? But I got dado blades. I'm gonna use dado blades. Oh, and the other thing about this is I'm using my rip fence in combination with my miter gauge. And yes, it is safe to do that when you're cutting rabbets or dados. In other words, non-through cuts. I'm not cutting all the way through the board, which could lead to a kickback if you use both of these in combination. So again, this is okay. Don't use this setup if you're just going to cut boards, cross-cut boards, because you're just looking for trouble if you do that. You can also use your CNC. Mine's hiding out back. Or laser cutter. You could use phasers if you want. Phasers. So then the drawers will fit together like magic. Now I can cut a 1/4 inch rabbet along one edge of each of the boards. These are going to hold the 1/4 inch bottom panels in place. I've switched over to a smaller stack of dado blades. And I switched over to my telephoto lens so you get this really cool cinematic close-up. It's almost like you're right there in the action. Those blades are so close you can smell them. Ooh, I know what would make this even better. If I added some lo-fi hip-hop beats to relax/study to. I need to cut out all 5 of the drawer bottoms, but first I want to just cut out the back piece to the cabinet. All of these are 1/4 inch plywood. To get an accurate measurement for the bottom of these drawers, I can just kind of set this up and take a quick measurement this way. All of the bottoms are going to be the exact same size, but I want to make sure that they fit well because sometimes these rabbets are a little deeper or a little bit shallower than you plan on. Okay, and then the direction going this way is just going to be the same length as these sideboards. These should go together pretty easy. I'm just going to glue and tack them together. Even though I'm going to tack this into place, I like to square it up first using this band strap clamp. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a band clamp or a strap clamp, I don't know. And at the same time, I'll just glue this bottom in place. You know, I was thinking earlier that I needed to make 5 bases to these drawers. And then I actually counted the drawers and just discovered to my amazement that there's 6 of them. So I had to make another drawer bottom. It's okay, I ain't got nothing else to do. Now I can take that off, double check that I'm square. I've been square since 1984. I don't even know why I picked that year to say that. So if you're out of square on these, it's the bottom that you want to use to help square it up. So once you kind of twist this into place, tack the bottom off down. If you don't have a nail gun, you can use your CNC, a laser, or a hammer and nails. Look at that. Here's the big reveal. Just a box. And I'll set that aside to bake. Hey, remember I was talking about rabbets and rebates? I was just looking through the comments on yesterday's video, and Benedict Blvd says, as someone from England, you say dado, I say housing. Housing. It sort of makes sense. It's like a little house surrounding another board. I don't know. Maybe. Dado is cuter sounding though, because it sounds like a dodo. I actually don't know where the word dado comes from. I'm sure somebody will tell me. And I'm sure somebody will tell me all the other words that are different in England than they are here in America, or at least in California. We kind of have a different language here. Oh, and the hood of your car bonnet. That one always kind of confused me. It's just a bonnet. It's very, very delicate. I just imagine Whenever I hear somebody say a bonnet on their car, I imagine the car driving around with one of those, like, you know, 19th century bonnets, like Little House on the Prairie. One of the things I'll need to do before I put these drawers in place is I need to sand them really well so they'll be smooth, and then I can wax these runners also to make them slide in and out a little bit easier. Plus I need to make the drawer pulls on those, put some cleats in the back, and then install the back to the cabinet. So I'm going to take care of all of that tomorrow. I'll see you then.